What is going on, AZ Sports Fan family? How are we doing out here today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here where we're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals uh, beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're here to talk about it all, guys. I want to get everybody's input, but obviously the Arizona Cardinals end up beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-19 on a game that I felt like we should have beat up and down, slap silly, and we didn't. So this game is going to be this live show is going to be an abbreviation of a live show. It's probably going to be anywhere between a 40 minute to a 45-minute show because there is a Sunday night football game that I do want to get my eyes on, and that's going to be the Aaron Rodgers versus the San Francisco 49ers game. Really excited to see what happens there. But if you guys do not know, the Arizona Cardinals did win today. Obviously, we're now 3-0. Hallelujah. But the Seattle Seahawks lost today against the Minnesota Vikings. Wow. Now they are 1-2 on the season. Now, I just finished watching the Los Angeles Rams versus the Buccaneers. And let me tell you one thing, everybody. The Rams look like the real deal right now. They look very, very good. I'm a little worried about it when it comes down to, playing them next week. But I think when it comes down to it, we got to, take it one day at a time. And we need to figure out what we can do here as fans and really come down to the wire and see what we can do. We need to celebrate this win, although it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of people don't seem to be too much interested in it. But I still do think that the win is a win, regardless of how it came out. But we got the W. And that's the most important thing here. 31-19. Now we are 3-0, and the Seattle Seahawks are 1-2. It's a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day to be living right now because the Seattle are 1-2. Oh, my goodness. So let's take it to the comments here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got everybody in the chat here. Let me give some quick shout-outs. We got King Savage. We got Lennon. We got Bryce. We got Charge Entertainment, Bananas, Lamar, Trout, Supreme Goat. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. This is going to be the post-game show, Arizona Cardinals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. So excited. Let's dive right into it, man. Let's dive right into it here. Let me go ahead and fix this ticker here real quick, just because I have Jaguars. That's it. I just have Jacksonville on my ticker. I don't have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, ended up fixing it. All right, let's talk about this game. And you guys could go ahead and react on this thread here so we can have a conversation back and forth. As always, if you do a super chat, your comment will get pinned. Just keep in mind right now we have 42 people in the chat room right now. But I tell you, like in about 10 minutes, we most likely will have over 100. So keep that in mind, guys. I'm not ignoring you or anything like that. But let's dive into it here. Arizona Cardinals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. As the game started, Jacksonville Jaguars started with the ball, and it was a 3-and-out. The Arizona Cardinal defense did a very, very good job maintaining this Jacksonville Jaguars team. And one thing that I wanted to mention here is pressure. Pressure is something that I'm still not seeing. I'm still not seeing from our awesome defensive line with J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Licky Fotu, Rashad Lawrence, Zach Gallen, Michael Dogby, Corey Peters, that type of stuff. I'm not seeing a lot of sacks, and it's kind of concerning a little bit here. Now, granted, because we got the win, we're not going to gloat or we're not going to talk about it too much, but ladies and gentlemen, we've had one sack this game. One sack. No, I apologize. Not one sack. We had two sacks. I'm sorry. Two sacks. Jordan Hicks, which came at the end of the game, and then Marcus Golden had a sack as well. But we're not seeing J.J. Watt. We're not seeing Chandler Jones, which honestly, I think that our defense thrives when it comes down to us getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. And we're just not seeing the amount of pressure that we saw versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, there's a lot of people saying that the Tennessee Titans didn't think that the Arizona Cardinals were going to come out ferociously and basically punch them in the mouth. Yeah, that's very well possible. But the Arizona Cardinals needs to maintain pressure, and they need to continue to add pressure because when we play teams like the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, if we can't get pressure back there, we're going to be looking at a different type of game. And that's something that I'm really worried about when we're looking into the future. Obviously, we're not going to dive too much into the Rams and the 49ers game because we're trying to celebrate this game, and rightfully so. We're 3-0 at the top of the division alongside with the Rams. So there's a lot to unfold in this game. Now, obviously, I want to definitely give some big shout outs. I want to give some big shout outs to our receivers and the offense just in general. Kyler Murray, man. Kyler Murray didn't have the best game out there in terms of touchdowns, but he went ahead and completed 28 out of 38 attempts, 316 yards, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. Now, that rushing touchdown was absolutely amazing. Kyler Murray has this thing that makes people look absolutely silly, and I absolutely love it, hands down. So Kyler Murray working his magic and got a rushing touchdown. Now, in terms of our rushing attempts, we had James Conner with 11 attempts with 43 yards, 2 freaking touchdowns. So let me give a big shout out to James Conner right now, man. James Conner is looking like the real deal right now. He's looking absolutely amazing. He is splitting the carries with Chase Edmonds, but 11 carries, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chase Edmonds, on the other hand, 11 carries, 26 yards, no touchdowns. Kyler Murray, 7 carries, 1 touchdown, and 19 yards on the ground. With the receiving, man, the receiving was I'm actually very proud and happy to say that this offense that we have here is not only going through DeAndre Hopkins. I've been crying and like yelling on a soapbox saying that we cannot always depend on DeAndre Hopkins. And we're seeing the evolution of this Arizona Cardinal offense flourish. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here because AJ Green had 5 receptions, 112 yards. That's right. I said it, 112 yards. Absolutely amazing. If we can spread the ball around as much as we're doing at this very moment, sky's the limit. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying that, why don't you think DeAndre Hopkins, or why aren't you upset that DeAndre Hopkins isn't getting the ball as much? But guys, truth of the matter here is if we get the win, it doesn't matter who gets the ball. Honestly, we have enough weapons. We have enough players for this, ball to go around to. So AJ Green was the star, in my personal opinion, this game. He caught some very clutch catches from Kyler Murray, so hopefully that continues. Then we have Christian Kirk here with 7 receptions, 104 yards. 104 yards. Let me tell you one thing, and I've said this last post game here. I apologize to Christian Kirk. I've said that he was not that number 2 wide receiver, which I don't think he is. He's actually flourishing a lot in the slot with DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green on the outside. I think this is the prime spot for Christian Kirk to flourish, and he's doing such an amazing job right now. Hopefully he can continue what he's doing here. Let's go ahead and keep on looking. We have Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds with 7 receptions, 49 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 receptions, 21 yards. I know for fantasy owners, that's not pretty. I understand it. A lot of fantasy owners are really pissed off because DeAndre Hopkins was probably a very high late round, first round pick, or maybe a high second round pick for them. And it's not a pretty sight. It really isn't. But we have Max Williams with 3 receptions, 19 yards. James Conner, 1 reception, 10 yards. And then Rondale Moore wasn't really too involved in terms of the receiving game. He had 2 receptions, 1 yard. So nothing too crazy, but he did come through and give us an explosive run after a punt that was given back to the Arizona Cardinals. So he definitely did that. I'll give him kudos to where kudos is due, and he definitely deserved. That was a beautiful run back. He did amazing there. Big shout out here to the Carolina Crone. What's up, man? Thank you so very much for the super chat. Let me get you the Betty White dab.
Got him!
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much for that. He says, don't get mad. Hopkins is hurt. Shake my head. Yeah, I mean, I agree. In my mind, I don't want every game to depend on DeAndre Hopkins. I really don't. If we could spread the wealth, if we could give the ball over to AJ Green, if we can give the ball over to Christian Kirk, to Rondale Moore, I think sky's the freaking limit. Now, I thought Max Williams was going to equally have an explosive amount of game like we did against the Vikings game, but it seemed like we started passing the ball up to him very, very, very early. And it seems like it kind of dwindled away. And the primary target ended up being Christian Kirk and AJ Green. So nothing too bad there, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much for the super chat. All right, let's look at the defense here. Let's see what the defense did. Jordan Hicks, 7 tackles, 5 assists. Marco Wilson, 6 tackles. Jalen Thompson, 4 tackles, 3 assists. Budda Baker, 4 tackles, 2 assists. Robert Alford, 3 tackles, 2 assists. Now, my MVP of this game on the defense, my MVP of this defense for this game has to be Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy, my goodness, 2 interceptions. One of them came from a kind of a ball that was tipped up, or I guess the tight end caught it, and then Jordan Hicks tackled him, and the ball came out of his hands. And who was there? Byron Murphy. That was his first interception. The second interception was going to be his pick 6, and that right there, man, that changed the momentum of this freaking game. So shout outs to Byron Murphy. Shout outs to the entirety of the offense. The second half offense. Let me make it clear. The second half offense, because let me be honest here, boys and gals. The offense in the first half was absolutely kind of frustrating to see. I don't know if you guys were, here during the watch party. We had an absolute blast here. I think we had over 300 people at one point watching with the AZ Sports Fan here. I was doing like a play-by-play, and it was fun. It was very fun. So whoever was there during the watch party, I appreciate you guys for coming through. But yeah, another shout out to my guy here, Primetime 2006, saying 3-0 and the Seahawks lost. Let's go. Absolutely, man. Let me get you the Drew Stanton dance.
Got him. Got him.
Appreciate you, Primetime 2006. Thank you so very much for that. But yeah, I agree, man. When it comes down to it, the Arizona Cardinals did what they could. The Arizona Cardinals did what they could so we can go become a 3-0 team. And we're a 3-0 team now, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be at the top of the division alongside the Los Angeles Rams. And we'll talk about the Rams a little later on in the stream, how you guys feel about it, because let's be honest, man, they took care of the Bucs. I was absolutely surprised. I thought this was going to be a game where it was shootout, and no defense. But the defense of the Rams really showed up, and that's one game that really freaks me out. But we got to play through them, and we got to get through them. In order for us to get to the top, we got to beat the people at the top. But yes, going back into the game here, the game was interesting. The game was interesting to say the least. Let me give a big shout out to my guy Illa Dre, saying J.J. Watt made tackles for losses. True. No sacks, but yes, tackles for losses. There was a tackle that he should have made on James Robinson. Instead, there was a 15-yard gash on our defense, which sucks, but here's a dab.
Got him.
Appreciate you, Illa Dre. Thank you so very much for the super chat. But the offense was interesting. It was an interesting watch. Now, we've talked up and down this whole week, like this is going to be a trap game. This right here is a trap game for the Arizona Cardinals. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming in here, and they're 0-2. We have Urban Meyer, which all of this big noise going around saying that Urban Meyer will not be the coach next year, that he wants to go back to college. Now, I ended up having a collaboration with my guy UCF Jaguar, and he's saying that that's more of a national headline. Like they're trying to push that big storyline, which in their eyes, that's not really a big storyline for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It seems like he is going to be a committed coach to that team. Now, regardless if they go 0-17, that's a whole different story there. But he seems to be committed to the Jaguars, and good for them. But the offense looked very mediocre. It looked very, very bad in the first half, and it was very concerning. We ended up having a call-in show during the halftime show of the watch party, and there was a lot of people with kind of the same concerns. We had optimism that the Arizona Cardinals will bounce back in the second half, which we did, hallelujah. But there was a lot of people kind of talking about the silly mistake that Cliff Kingsbury ended up doing, and that was being that he went for a 68-yard field goal. And honestly, at that time, it's kind of those situations where it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. He went for a 68 field goal. Now, I don't blame this on Prater the least bit. Let me be the first to say here, not Prater's fault at all. 68 yards is a long freaking kick. And to be that accurate, it's hard. It's a difficult task to ask for. So the call was given to Prater. Prater came out here, and it seemed like the kick was seeming to be good, but it fell short about 3 to 2 yards. And what ended up happening after that was the worst nightmare for the Arizona Cardinals to have happened. There was a guy receiving, waiting for the ball to fall down, and it did. They caught the ball, and they took it for a touchdown. That touchdown right there was a deflator for the Arizona Cardinals. Just in general, just the momentum change of that situation was absolutely crazy. A 60-yard attempt, I wouldn't have done that at all, in my personal opinion. Now, if he would have made it, Cliff Kingsbury looks like a genius, right? I mean, that's how it goes. Dang if you do, dang if you don't. If he made it, he looks like the whiz, smart guy out there. But the biggest part, not so much that Prater missed a 68-yard field goal, but the special teams unit allowed a touchdown to come out of the whole situation. And that right there, my friends, is where the momentum switched over from the Jaguars, from the Arizona Cardinals to the Jaguars, because, man, that right there should have not have happened at all. Upsetting, absolutely upsetting about it. But the grand scheme of things, Arizona Cardinals took it, and we got the win. So let me give a big shout out to my guy. Is it Isa Mejia? Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Appreciate you for the $5 donation. Let me get you the Betty White dab.
Got him! Got him!
Thank you so very much for the super chat. He says, at this rate, the Cardinals are a must-watch team. Maybe Larry Fitzgerald decides to play again. Imagine DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Moore, and Fitz. Game over. Love it, man. I love the optimism, but I think the way that we're rolling through right now, I don't know if Larry Fitzgerald will want to join, or if he does join, he's going to have to take a significant pay cut from the Arizona Cardinals, and he might not be the big focal point that he wants to be. Honestly, right now with Christian Kirk exploding the way that he is, and Rondale Moore being that, that game changer type of player, I don't want to lose that chemistry. I love Larry Fitzgerald. I absolutely do. I want to see 11 back out there again, but I also am worried about the chemistry that will transpire if we do bring him back and try to make him a focal point, try to make him that slot receiver, try to make him that number 4, and basically get touches away from the playmakers that are actually making plays as of right now. Somebody put a tweet out maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying something along the lines like Larry Fitzgerald was like holding this offense back because like we needed explosive players like Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore. I personally don't think that was the case. I don't think Larry Fitzgerald was holding this offense back. I just think that some of the play calls were a little It's really hard to tell. I'm never going to put a situation where Larry Fitzgerald is, seemed to be a burden on this team. If he does come back, I would absolutely accept him with open arms. I love Larry Fitzgerald. I want to see Larry Fitzgerald back out there again. I love him. Number 11. He's the GOAT. But I don't want to ruin the chemistry. He will have a small part in this offense. If we go for a ring, if we go for the Lombardi, he's going in to get a ring. That's pretty much it, in my personal opinion. I don't want to lose this momentum with Christian Kirk exploding the way he is and Rondale Moore being the game changer that he is right now. So that's just my personal opinion in the whole matter. If you guys have something different, definitely put it in the comments. But yes, going back to the Cliff Kingsbury's decision, man, if that would have, stayed the way that it is and the offense couldn't get going, that right there would have been a big pivotal point in this game in general. But I'm glad that the way that the tables have turned, and we did really good in the second half. I know we had a caller call in and say, hey, we're more of a second half team. We'll bounce back. And it was all positivity. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm actually all up on board with that. So let's take a look at the Jaguars stats. Let's take a look and see what the Jaguars did. Now, Trevor Lawrence completed 22 out of 34, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. James Robinson had a freaking day. It almost kind of seems like in the second half, he really could have been stopped. I think we held him really, really well in the first half in terms of the whole running game in general. I think our defense did very good with the run stopping. But the second half, it seems like it kind of opened up. They were doing a lot more outside running. And I think our linebackers were either getting sucked in or basically just getting blocked. So James Robinson had 15 carries, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Carlos Hyde had 8 carries, 44 yards. And then Trevor Lawrence also had his own yardage as well, 6 carries and 27 yards on his own. That was actually kind of concerning to see, being that he was running because, yeah, his RPOs were working very well. And I don't think the Cardinals were expecting him to run. But his receiving, so we had Marvin Jones with 6 receptions, 62 yards. DJ Chark with 3 receptions, 49 yards, and there was a touchdown in the corner route from DJ Chark. And this was an awesome catch, but an even better throw from Trevor Lawrence. I got to give kudos to where kudos is due. And my goodness, DJ Chark caught that touchdown, which was the corner route, but it was a really good throw from Trevor Lawrence because we had Marco Wilson going up in the air and trying to kind of, hit the ball with his head and not putting his hands up in the air. But that was their really solo touchdown from Trevor Lawrence. And then obviously James Robinson had the rushing touchdown. And then you had James Robinson also with 6 receptions and 46 yards. Laviska Shenault Jr., 4 receptions, 48 yards. When that guy was open, he was open, and it was frustrating to see. Andrew Wingard had an interception on Kyler Murray. That was frustrating to see. That most likely was going to be the one that he threw it. It looked like it was going to be a post route, and there was a double coverage type of thing, and Kyler Murray ended up throwing another interception from our team, which kind of sucked. In terms of like sacks, I don't think they really got behind, back there too much to bother Kyler Murray, which is really good because that means our offensive line is doing really good and keeping them upright. So they didn't have any sacks at all. So we definitely got to give kudos to the offensive line. We definitely did very, very well when it came down to it. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Let's keep on reading on to the comments here. We have King Plumtree says, Larry for cornerback. Just kidding. Yeah, man. Larry Fitzgerald, man. He's a jack of all trades, right? I doubt cornerback is going to be a position. I know you're just kidding, but if we do bring back Larry Fitzgerald, he's going to have a very small contract and a very small little role in this offense. I doubt we are going to change anything from our offense because the grand scheme of it, boys and gals, yeah. I don't want to mess up any chemistry that Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore has. All right, let's get to it here. I think one of the most important things here that's went on this game is not only that the Arizona Cardinals are 3-0, but the Seattle Seahawks lost today against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Minnesota Vikings held their own. The Seattle Seahawks lost today against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings didn't have Dalvin Cook. So that's kind of concerning for a Seahawk fan, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But let's take a look at the scoreboard and what ended up happening in that game, because the Minnesota Vikings did us a huge favor today, boys and gals. They did us a huge favor today, and they took down Russell Wilson and the Minnesota Vikings. Give me 1 second. Let me bring the game up here. One second here, boys and gals. All right, so the final was 30-17. Now, both of those teams are 1-2, and obviously the Seattle Seahawks are now in the bottom of the division with 2 losses already in this young season. Now, granted, it's not something where I doubt that they will stay that low. Russell Wilson's doing everything he possibly can. Some people might say that he's doing too much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I think when it comes down to it, all we could say is thank you, Minnesota Vikings for giving them the L. UCF Jaguar, what's up, dude? Thank you so very much for coming here, man. He says, good game, brother. No, thank you, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Good game to you as well, man. There was a moment where I was sweat dripping, and I was like, this can't be happening. I can't believe we might be losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you guys held your own. So I appreciate you for stopping by, man. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep on reading into the comments here. We got Fernando saying Rams have hurt our QBs before. Hope everything goes well next Sunday against the Lambs. I agree, man. I agree. That's going to be something I'm going to post on my my preview as well, that we need to be careful with those injuries because we've had very, very bad luck when it comes down to playing the Los Angeles Rams. We really, really have. Let's keep on reading into the comments here. Jordan the GOAT says, can we talk about how AJ Green did? Yes, we already talked about, you most likely probably came a little late, but yes, we definitely talked about AJ Green and the amazingness game that he had today. A huge focal point, man, a huge focal point for this Arizona Cardinal team. I think he had over 112 yards, 5 receptions. Amazing. Yes, we talked about him a little earlier. All right, let's keep on reading into the comments here. And here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, boys and gals. Not only is the Arizona Cardinals 3-0, not only is the Arizona Cardinals 3-0, next week we have the Rams. And who has the Seahawks? The Seahawks has the San Francisco 49ers. So we have some division matchups to next week that we are going to have our eyes peeled back and really see exactly what's going to happen with the Arizona Cardinals and this whole NFC West, because it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. I promise you. This is going to be so fun to watch exactly what happens, because we have the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks next week has the San Francisco 49ers. Crazy, man. So crazy. Yes. So this is going to be an abbreviated post-game show because, yes, I am the same boat as you. I want to watch the Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers game, which should be starting here soon, maybe within the next 10 to 15 minutes. So it's going to be an abbreviated show today. All right, let's keep on reading into the comments here. We have It's Hasty saying, I'm excited for Sunday because it'll define if we really are that team, but also nervous for K1. Yeah, man, I agree. I agree. Is anybody concerned of how our offense looked in the very first half? Is anybody concerned about the way our offense looked in the very first half of the Jaguars versus the Arizona Cardinals game? Now, me personally, during the game, I was flipping down. I was upset. I was like, how is this freaking possible? This is the team that we should be beating left and right. You know, I probably just needed to take a chill pill and wait until the second half, because that's where our offense really kind of exploded. But honestly, I think if we really think about it, yes, this worked out against this Jaguars team, but this is not going to work out when we do play those top contending teams, those teams that will be going to the playoffs, like the Rams. Because the Rams, if you allow all these 3-and-outs to happen, they will make you pay, and they will make you pay bad. And one thing you do not want to do is you do not want to be down at the half versus the Los Angeles Rams, because now Sean McVay has added another win to his win column. And what that means is whenever he has the lead, at half, he most likely wins that. So we need to make sure that they don't have the lead at half. But this is going to be a very, very tall task to ask Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. But I think we need to clean up what we cleaned up here, man. We still saw some penalties from our Arizona Cardinals, some boneheaded ones as well. There was some that should have been called for our team, but I mean, that's kind of like he said, she said, shoulda, coulda, woulda, all that different stuff. So we are who we are. We need to clean up the penalties, regardless if they're valid or they're not valid. They need to be cleaned up. They need to be cleaned up, because that can easily bite us in the butt later on. It's just the truth of the nature of the beast. Let's keep on reading into the comments here. Bulldog, what's up, dude? He says, if the Cardinals don't play more complete games, they'll lose a lot of games in the NFC West. Ding, 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 ding. 110%, man. You're 100% right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We can get away with what we did against the Jaguars today. We can get away with it. But the moment we start playing our NFC West rivals, the moment we start playing these other top, competitive teams like the Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, we can very well pay for it. We can very, very well pay for it. And I don't want to be put in that situation where, we try to go for a 68-yard field goal and we gave up an easy touchdown. Kyler Murray throws another interception, and the momentum gets shifted over. So a lot of stuff needs to kind of get cleaned up. But a win is a win, and we will absolutely take it. A win is a win, and we will absolutely take it. Let's keep on reading into the comments here. Eric Garcia says, I wanted Chandler Jones to get at least a sack. I'm right there with you, man. I'm very surprised that we haven't seen any sacks from Chandler or J.J. Watt. All the sacks that he's gotten so far has come in the beginning of the very first game versus the Tennessee Titans, and I'm right there with you. I'm absolutely super surprised about it. I am very surprised about it. Let's keep on reading into the comments here. Did you see that the reason for Rondale Moore's fumble punt return was due to a ref? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I actually ended up retweeting it. I think one of our guys, in terms of like our radio host, ended up posting it on Twitter, and yeah, I saw that, man. What a freaking, these refs were trying to get us to lose this game from the get, man. It's crazy, man. The freaking flag legit hit the ball. And I promise you, if that went the opposite way, they probably wouldn't have reviewed it. That would have been the frustrating part. As a Cardinal fan, they probably wouldn't have reviewed it. but nuts, man, absolutely nuts. Ball comes in, Rondell Moore almost gets it, throws a freaking flag, and hits the dang ball and gets ricocheted. And after that, obviously, Rondell Moore is like, well, where'd the ball go? Because I had my eye focused, and then it went away. It was crazy. Thankfully, the Arizona Cardinals ended up recovering the ball, and the rest is history. But yes, I did see that. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Yes, Alfred almost got that interception. I know, man. I'm right there with you. He did almost get that interception. I can only hope that he would have gotten it. But hey, it is what it is. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Spencer76, what's up? Awesome win. Awesome. Short and sweet. Love it. Thomas, what's up? How good was AJ Green? Very good. Very good. We talked about him a little earlier in the stream. We're not going to focus too much on him again. If you want to rewatch it, then definitely go ahead and rewatch the stream. But yes, very, very good. Eric says Kirk's going to have a nice season. Yeah, he really is, man. Honestly, he's doing very, very good right now. Very, very good. I love what he's doing in the slot right now, and he's putting yardage up left and right. So I am completely down with what he is doing. Completely down with what he's doing. So far this year, let's see here. Let me see if there's like a 2021 stats. Yes, there is. There's 2021 stats right here. No, there's not. Okay, I thought there was going to be some 2021 stats here. Well, he had 70 in Tennessee, 65 in Minnesota, and 104 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. So easily over 200 yards, and that's only 3 games. So yeah, man, absolutely. Keep on reading to the comments here. Joe Schmo. Also, boys, how about James Conner? Oh, yeah, James Conner. Give me more James Conner. I like the, split between Chase Edmonds and James Conner. But if I were going to have a go-to man, I would say let's do 65%, 35%, or even 60% to 40%. James Conner, I feel like, should be toting the rock a lot more. This guy is a magnificent, man. He's doing very, very good. Hopefully we can keep him safe, healthy all year. End of Forever says, I'm still in the camp of extending Chandler Jones. Yeah, I agree. Regardless if he gets no sacks or not, offenses still need a plan around what Chandler Jones is going to do. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. I still up on board with, hey, re-signing Chandler Jones. I'm right there with you. Regardless if there's been no sacks these last 2 games, no matter. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. There was a face mask on Edmonds. Yeah, there was another face mask as well. I think it was on Kyler. There was another face mask on Kyler too. Man, that didn't get called. Didn't get called at all, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Fernando says, just today, go Packers. Yeah, I agree, man. Go Packers. Beat those 49ers, man. Beat those 49ers, 110%. Spencer 76, a few teams are 3-0. Sorry, a few 3-0 teams. We are one of the most. Rise up Red Sea. Yes, only a very few 3-0 teams. Now the Buccaneers will no longer have the opportunity to become 3-0. So the amount of teams that are that amount, it's all dwindled down. So gotta love it. Rai, what's up, dude? He says, we cheeseheads today. Then we fart and go back to the Cardinals. Yeah, man. Well, we need the Packers to make some noise here, man. We need the Packers to make some noise because we need the 49ers to lose. And get us a buffer. Keep on reading to the comments here. Thai Muay Thai says, let's give it up to Kirk. Yep, I agree, man. Give it up to Kirk for sure. He did a very, very good job. Supreme goes as Captain Kirk with Flames. Absolutely. Doing very good, man. Very, very good. Oh, whoa. Like 12 comments came, or like 4 comments came in at once. Okay, let's just start off with Joe Schmo. Just want to say, appreciate you covering all the Suns games, all the Cardinals games, all that stuff, man. Us real fans appreciate you. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Joe Schmo. Yeah, I try my best, man. I'm probably not going to do a lot of watch parties because, I like to watch the game family and stuff like that. So when I do make the watch parties, I'll let you guys know on Instagram, Twitter, all that different stuff, or my community tab. So make sure you have your post notification bell and stuff like that. But I did have a fun time, man. This was very, very fun to do. If you guys weren't at the watch party, you missed out because, man, I was getting mad hype. I was getting mad freaking hype. Jordan P, the refs every week have been against us. We won't beat the Rams with the refs. Hey, man, I hope not, man. I hope not. But I agree with you. There's been a lot of plays that have not been called for the Arizona Cardinals, and that's actually very frustrating. 100% agree. Matt G, what's up, man? I've seen the 1985 Cardinals play the 1985 Giants in New Jersey. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I cannot be happier in these moments. Good, man. Well, awesome. One thing about our Arizona Cardinals, man, we might not be the most consistent team out there, but we are a happy bunch when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinals winning. We are a very happy bunch, and obviously the state of Arizona and the city of Phoenix really rallied to the Cardinals. So yeah, I agree right there with you, my guy. Chris says watch party for the Packers. Nah, probably not. I only do watch parties for my Arizona teams. Supreme Goat says the game started. Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah, we'll shut this down here shortly, probably within the next 8 minutes or so, maybe the next 5 minutes or so. We'll just continue to talk some Jaguars and Cardinals for the time being, and we'll cut it short at the 45-minute mark. Let's keep on reading here. Spencer 76 Seahawks lost. Yes, they did. Gotta love it. Bulldog says Justin Tucker was the second highest scoring player on my fantasy, right behind Kyler Murray. Oh, wow. I don't think Kyler really had a very good game. I don't think Kyler had a very good game on fantasy, so I'm very surprised that Kyler was your second. All right, let's give me your best comments here. We are going to go ahead and get your best comments on here on the comments. All right, game has started. I do got some players in this game too, so I'm going to be watching this game very, very shortly, man. I'm going to watch this game very, very closely here. I got Aaron Jones and I got Deebo Samuel on the other side here, so excited. Hopefully we do good here. All right, so let's do this. Let's cut it short here. I wanted to go to the 45-minute mark, but it seems like we might be wanting to really take a look at that Packers game versus the San Francisco 49ers. So let's do this. Let's cut this short and let's start thinking about what we are going to do against the Los Angeles Lambs next week, man. But tomorrow, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your Victory Monday. If we do a live call-in show, it most likely will be with phones opened up. We most likely will have the phones open. So make sure you have your post notification bell on and all that stuff. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and chilling with the AZ Sports Fan here. If you guys have not watched the latest reaction, please do so right now. Smash that like button and subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan on your YouTube. Everybody, guys, have a great rest of your day. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cards are 3-0. Cards are 3-0. But that's all I got, guys. Thank you so very much, and go Cards.